right? Always there will be scope for improvement. And because variation, we just cannot eliminate. Variation, we just cannot eliminate. We can only reduce. So scope for improvement always exists. Yes, continuous learning is an important thing. Good. And now some of the quality principles. We need to be customer focused. Always we need to be customer focused. And instead of saying customer, when I say stakeholder, that will be more appropriate. Because when we say customer, we immediately conclude that it is the person who buys our product. It is the person who pays for our product. But do you think your products and services affect only the person who pay for you? It affects others also, isn't it? For example, all of you are paying for the program, you are learning from us, and your performance, do you think only you will get affected? First of all, your family, then your company, then the environment around you. That means your any product or any service we offer, if we offer it with the inferior quality, the stakeholders, it will impact their stakeholders. So anyone who is affected directly or indirectly by your product and service are called stakeholders. We should always be very good in stakeholders. This is what we call it customer focus. Doesn't mean only delight your person who is paying. Try to delight your stakeholders, right? And then systems approach and process centric approach. This is very important. Everything is a process. Training is a process where set of resources are used to convert the inputs into output, isn't it? All of you, your knowledge and the skill levels are going to improve. What are the resources we are using? We are using now, faculty members, course materials, and then your time, and then the Zoom platform, PowerPoint slides. These are all the resources. All these resources convert our input into desired form of output. So process approach. Every process will have input and then output will be produced, and for that we require resources. If you convert the input into proper output, that is you are very effective. You are very effective. That means you are able to produce the output you want. You are effective. If you do it with only the exact amount of resource required, then you are efficient. You should not overutilize the resources, or you should not underutilize the resources. You optimize the resource utilization. Then you are called efficient also, right? So we need to understand that. And please note, variation exists in all process. You cannot avoid variation. We think every single day there are 24 hours. Is it really so? Anybody measured? Is that we had 24 hours today as well as yesterday? There could be difference, isn't it? So variation always exists, right? If you say there are no variation, this is only your assumption. It simply means you are only controlling something, but actually there will be some variation, right? So variation exists in all process, and reducing variation is the key to improvement. If you don't control the variation, the same variation will become a problem sometime. Am I right? For example, every day we close the session by delaying 5 minutes. So 1 or 2 minutes, up to 5 minutes, I hope all of you will tolerate. If we keep on increasing the delay and then close the class only by night 10 o'clock, it will become a big problem. So variation, if you don't control, definitely that will lead to rejections. In your product also, there will be variation. You might be producing a lot of products, or you might be offering a lot of services. Of course, the same product, of course, the same services, or you will be doing a lot of transaction, the same transaction. And every time you execute, there will be some variation. As long as the variations are under control, customer will not make any complaint. If you allow the variations to increase, some point of time, customer will disrespect your way of work, and then he will reject your products. So reducing variation is the key to improvement. It's an important principle of Six Sigma. And always have a systems approach, right? Bits and parcels, you may be great, but as an assembly, you should be great, isn't it? If you consider a car, an automobile, it is an assembly of 5,000 parts. and each part, there are some components, isn't it? So, but when I produce every part, in bits and pieces across several places, a single car manufacturer may have 500 vendors who will be supplying different parts, but finally I have to assemble everything and call it a car and then sell it to a customer. What is most important? As a car, your product should function properly, right? The fuel pump is functioning properly separately, but when I fit into the engine, there is some problem. Do you think your product will be appreciated in the market? No. So this is called a systems approach. All right. And then factual approach. Always your decision should be based on the facts. Any decision you take, it should be based on the facts, and make sure your suppliers also deliver optimal result, because you are responsible for the final product. The child components, the raw material, the sub-assemblies, you might procure from your suppliers, but still you are responsible for the end result. So you need to make sure your supplier also deliver optimal results. And that is why companies, work with, the several suppliers, and then there will be some supply relationship managers will also be there. What is their job? Their job is to ensure whether the company is procuring raw material or the company is procuring child parts or anything they are procuring, there has to be optimal quality, because their quality goes into your quality, right? So these are all called quality principles. So time is 11 o'clock now for your tea break. So what we do is we stop here for your tea. All right. And then we'll continue after tea. Are there any questions?